There comes a time in life when the ticking of the clock no longer frightens us, but invites us to listen. To remember that every heartbeat, every sunrise, every breath, is not a countdown to the end, but a doorway to begin again. Tonight, I want to share something gentle, yet powerful, a message for those who wonder if their best years are behind them. They're not, because growth has no deadline, and the soul never grows old. Welcome to the light of a growth mindset. So many people let the clock rule them, fearing that age disqualifies them from growth. But history whispers back, it's never too late. Cherry, the great French scientist whose groundbreaking work in color has enriched the world, remained sharp, creative, and fully alive until the very moment death came for him, at the age of 103. Let that sink in. These men didn't fear aging. They defied it. These are just a few names from the long, noble roll call of men and women who proved, through action, that the flame of purpose never has to dim with time. They are voices of hope to anyone whose courage has faltered, whose confidence has grown thin, who wonders, is it too late for me? Here is the truth. The path to higher living, to deeper purpose, to personal transformation, is never closed to you, until you choose to close it. Believe this, feel it, let it become a living faith in your spirit. Live your best life, at all times, and let the outcomes be what they may. If you do this, you can rest calm, steady, and undisturbed, no matter what the world calls success or failure. Looking backward, constantly replaying what could have been, only weakens your ability to shape what can still be. Worrying about the past does nothing but drain your future. No force in this world, not regret, not guilt, not sorrow, can reopen the past. It is sealed, locked, as far out of your control as if it lay a million years behind you. But here's what you can do. Let the past become light. Let it shine forward. Let every moment, good or bad, become wisdom, not weight. Use that wisdom to make this present moment stronger, more aware, more noble. Make this moment a past you will someday be proud to remember. The present is yours, the future is waiting, and the past, it has returned, with all its lessons, its gifts, and its warnings, to the God who entrusted you with time in the first place. During my whole life, I have not had 24 hours of happiness. Those were the words of Prince Bismarck, one of the greatest statesmen of the 19th century. 83 years of fame, power, wealth, success. He held empires in his hands, but never happiness. Isn't that astonishing? Because happiness is the great paradox of life. It grows anywhere. It survives under any condition. It defies wealth. It laughs at status. It ignores circumstance. Why? Because happiness does not come from the outside. It rises from within. Happiness isn't what you have. It's who you are. It's not in possessing. It's in enjoying. It's the warm glow of a heart at peace with itself. It's the quiet joy of one who knows they are living rightly. A martyr at the stake may feel happiness deeper than a king on his throne, because happiness is not comfort. It's not control, it's alignment. It is the sweet aroma of a life lived in harmony with high ideals. What a man has may depend on others, but what a man is, that belongs to him alone. What you obtain is achievement, but what you attain, in character, wisdom, integrity, that is growth. Happiness is the soul's joy in the possession of the intangible. Perfect happiness, constant, unshakable bliss, is not possible in this life. Why? Because it would mean we've reached the end of all growth. It would mean our destiny is fully fulfilled, and that's not what life is for. And yet, happiness can still exist with trial, with sorrow, with lack, because happiness is not the absence of trouble. It is the rising above it. It's the gladness of the heart refusing to be buried by, Yet many confuse happiness with its clever imitators. Gratification, satisfaction, contentment, pleasure, each of these plays a part, but they are not the real thing. Gratification is the momentary harmony between what we want and what we receive. It feels good, but it's never whole. It thanks life for giving something, while still yearning for more. Satisfaction is the rare union of desire and possession, when what we want and what we have match perfectly. But the moment it's achieved, something new calls. A higher step, a deeper dream. The very act of satisfying one desire awakens another. And so the balance is lost, and the search begins again. White flag: a man may possess every visible treasure in the world, wealth, luxury, comfort, control, and still be miles away from true happiness. Why? Because happiness satisfies not the mind, not the body, but the soul. Strangely, it's dissatisfaction, in its noblest form, that becomes the spark of all great advancement. It's the birth cry of new aspirations, the early sign of growth, the restless whisper that says, there's something more. That's why contentment, as often praised as it is sometimes just deluded despair. It's the velvet-lined coffin of dreams, a sweet-talking voice that convinces you to keep settling for less, to sip vinegar and pretend it's wine. Contentment can make you warm your hands at the fading fire of old joys, while the future goes cold. It can lull you into a trance where you stop reaching, stop climbing, stop growing. It becomes a kind of mental chloroform, gently suffocating your spirit, all while whispering that everything is fine. But listen, fine is not what your soul came here for. You weren't made for mediocrity. You weren't built for half-truths or halfway living. A man should never be content with anything less than the best his nature can reach for. Yes, contentment may make the world more comfortable, but discontentment is what makes it better. So how should you relate to progress? Be content with each step, but never with that step as a destination. Be grateful for how far you've come, but hungry for where you're going. There are times to be content with what you have, but never with what you are. Because the soul is made to expand, not settle. And don't be fooled by pleasure either. Pleasure is not happiness. Pleasure is a flicker. Happiness is a flame. Pleasure is a note. Happiness is a symphony. Pleasure may arise even when your conscience objects. But happiness? It never comes in conflict with your soul. Pleasure can leave you bitter. Happiness never does. And here's another truth. Man is the only creature capable of true happiness. The rest of nature merely mirrors imitations. Happiness is a peaceful attunement of your life to something higher than yourself. And here's the twist. It cannot be made by a man alone, for himself, by himself. You can't chase happiness directly. You can't corner it, cage it, or manufacture it. Trying to make happiness your goal is like trying to jump on the end of your own shadow. If you want the bullseye, you must aim above it. Place something higher than your own comfort at the center of your life, and happiness will meet you there. Not because you demanded it, but because you aligned with it. You can buy pleasure, you can acquire contentment, you can settle into satisfaction, but you can't bargain for real happiness. It's not on sale, it's the byproduct of truth, of unselfishness, of quietly doing what's right, over and over again. Happiness never grows where worry lives. It never breathes in the smog of anxiety or hopeless struggle. Its home is peace, and its soil, love. Look around. Every instance of true happiness is anchored in love. Strip away the circumstances, the titles, the success, and what remains is always some kind of deep devotion. A parent's love for a child. The bond between soulmates. The quiet joy of pouring your life into meaningful work. The open-hearted connection to a cause bigger than yourself. That is where happiness blooms. It's not cynicism, It's not cold observation. It is a faithful optimism grounded in love. The cynic, he'll never know happiness because he's too proud of being right about the wrongs. He brags about seeing the darkness, so much so that he can't even feel the light. He mistakes his own bitterness for wisdom. He lets a single mote in his eye blot out the sun. No one should envy the cynic. If anything, pity him. He should long for death, because life has no joy left to offer him, and he has no joy left to receive. The key to happiness is not found in isolation or in perfect conditions. It lies in four ancient truths: consecration, concentration, conquest, conscience. Let's start with consecration. To consecrate your life means to dedicate it to something higher than yourself. To live for others, to serve a noble mission, to chase ideals that require selflessness and humility. Life is not something to get through. It's something to live up to. It is a gift, a responsibility, a privilege. The person who makes others feel lighter, who encourages the weary, who forgets himself in the service of others. That person is walking the royal road to happiness. Consecration demands courage, boldness. It's not timid or polite. It fears only the betrayal of one's highest ideals. Then comes concentration. This is the ability to focus your life, to cut through the noise and drama and get to what really matters. To remove the glittering distractions and shallow pretenses that dilute modern living. Worry, fear, regret, these are the termites of the soul. If you don't cut them off, they'll eat away your energy, your clarity, your purpose. Concentration says, this is my mission. This is what matters. It gives you the strength to brush aside the petty irritations of the day, to rise above minor setbacks, to keep moving when life gets muddy. Even soldiers in the chaos of battle forget their pain when they're focused on a purpose greater than themselves. White flag. Even when a soldier lies wounded on the battlefield, he may be unconscious of pain, because his spirit is ignited by the higher cause he serves. That's the power of concentration. Concentration lifts the mundane into the realm of the sacred. It dignifies a humble life. It makes a great life sublime. In morality, it becomes a shortcut to simplicity, leading us to do the right thing, not because it's easy, not because it's praised, but because it's right. Full stop. And this leads to a kind of inner rest, a serenity that doesn't come from the outside, but shines from within, like a steady sunlight of happiness, even on cloudy days. Then comes conquest, not conquest of other people, not domination, but the far more difficult task, the conquest of self. It's the ability to rise above temptation, to stay grounded when everything around you screams for compromise. Sometimes life gets hard, really hard. You're exhausted, the world feels unfair, truth seems invisible, loyalty goes unrewarded, justice, a dream, and the devil seems to sign the biggest paychecks. In those moments, you must rise, not because it's easy, but because it's right. That's when your faith becomes sublime. That's when you dig deeper and say, I will not bow. I will not break. I will believe that right still matters. Don't let the small-mindedness of others pull you under. When petty jealousy, shallow gossip, or betrayal try to drown you, be like the lighthouse. Unshaken, still standing, still glowing, the lighthouse does not fight the waves. It simply shines above them. This too is conquest, and it's one of the surest ways to walk the royal road to happiness. And then there's conscience, the compass of the soul. When you can sit alone, in silence, and feel the calm approval of your own conscience, not forced, not rationalized, not manipulated, that's when you begin to know what happiness really is. But beware, some consciences are rusted, dulled by years of compromise. They no longer speak truth, they only echo excuses. That's why you must live honestly, each day, to keep your conscience sharp and clear. The one who seeks to live with consecration, concentration, and conquest, one day at a time, doing the best they can with the light they've been given, can trust their conscience fully. They don't need the world's applause. They don't chase headlines. They don't fear judgment. They live with a higher approval, and that's enough. Because unhappiness is the hunger to get, but happiness, it is the hunger to give. And here's a beautiful truth. Real happiness always carries a touch of sorrow outlived. A pain remembered, but softened. A loss that turned into compassion. A wound that became a window into empathy. If you want to find happiness, try this, for one single day. Wake up and decide to make someone else's life better. Not your own, not for attention, not for reward, just make someone smile. Lift their burden, be a reason they believe in good again. Do this, and you'll stumble into a revelation. Happiness wasn't something you chased. It was something you gave, and in giving, it returned. Even the greatest heroes of history could not accomplish more real good in a day than a single individual living a life of quiet daily kindness. What if this became a movement? What if we each lived with this motto, just for today? Just for today, I'll be kind. Just for today, I'll be helpful. Just for today, I'll spread love without agenda. Such a phrase could become the heartbeat of a new world, a quiet revolution, and then happiness would no longer be a distant, mysterious dream. It would come, not because we chased it, but because we radiated it. So tonight, as you close your eyes, remember this. The past has taught you. The future is waiting for you. In this present moment, right here, is your sacred chance to live fully. Happiness is not something you chase, it's something you create, one quiet act of love at a time. Thank you for listening, dear friend. Stay gentle with your heart, stay steady in your faith, and never stop growing. This is the light of a growth mindset.